Join me as I dive into the creepy history of New England and see if I can uncover the truth behind the vampire panic that had everyone on edge. In the early 19th century, a strange and fascinating chapter in American folklore unfolded in New England, leaving a lasting impact on the region's history. The story of vampire panic might sound like a made-up tale, but it's rooted in real events that had people genuinely spooked. For a period of time, residents of New England were gripped by fear of vampires, leading to some remarkable and bizarre incidents that are still talked about today. So why did people believe in vampires during this time? One major reason was the high mortality rate due to diseases like tuberculosis, which claimed many lives. When family members fell ill and died, it was not uncommon for people to look for explanations beyond the ordinary. The fear of vampires was also fueled by superstition and folklore from Europe, where vampire legends were common. These stories merged with the anxieties of the time, creating a potent mix of fear and misunderstanding. The conditions were ripe for such fears to spread. Rural New England was a place where traditional beliefs and modern medicine coexisted, sometimes in uneasy harmony. When strange occurrences or unexplained deaths happened, they were often attributed to supernatural forces. This was a time before modern medical understanding, so the death of a loved one was frequently seen as a mysterious event, open to various interpretations. As the panic spread, people's behavior became more erratic. Some resorted to extreme measures, like exhuming bodies to check for signs of vampirism. This was done under the belief that vampires could be identified by certain physical characteristics, such as an unusually well-preserved corpse. These actions might seem ridiculous to us today, but they reflect the desperation and fear that gripped these communities. One of the most compelling incidents during this period was the case of Mercy Brown, a young woman from Exeter, Rhode Island. Her story epitomized the vampire hysteria that had taken hold. In 1892, several members of her family fell ill with tuberculosis, and when they died, the family believed they had become vampires. In a desperate bid to save their loved ones, they exhumed the body of Mercy's recently deceased sister, but found nothing out of the ordinary. Still, the family remained convinced that a vampire was at work. The belief in vampires was not just about superstition. It was also a reflection of deeper societal fears and challenges. The vampire panic in New England served as a way for people to make sense of the inexplicable, to find scapegoats for their misfortunes, and to cope with the fear of death. It highlights how, in times of uncertainty, people often turn to old myths and legends to explain the world around them. In summary, the vampire panic in New England was a complex phenomenon driven by a mix of historical events, cultural beliefs, and societal conditions. It reveals a lot about the anxieties and fears of the people living during that time, and how they sought to understand and deal with the challenges they faced. If you enjoyed uncovering the truth behind the vampire panic with me, share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're as hooked on folklore and mysterious historical events as I am, be sure to check out my video on the legend of the Mothman. It's another fascinating tale that will take you on a journey through American history and mythology.